Hi, this is Shane with The Rational Trader. It is Tuesday the 4th, and my result for the day is 130 in oil and 100 in gold. Gold was pretty sideways, actually, in a reasonably tight range. I mean, here's the open right here. And this is just moving up and down sideways in about, is that 30 ticks? 46, 80 to 43, a little bit more than 30, so between 30 and 40 ticks. There's a nice cluster here. It would have been nice to catch that long. As it happens, I got short here. This is really a late trade, 1040, and the market moves down 30 ticks. I'm trailing by 20, so I make 10. So that's plus 100. And then in oil, let's see. So I got short here, or rather the machine got short here. That's a really late trade, I think. And we end up making 10 ticks, and then it gets short again, and then makes another 10. We saw this the other day, where I would, as a trader, I'd prefer to be taking a single trade and catching that. I feel like I got lucky that I got another signal to catch that second piece. But the data shows to trail tight at the beginning, and then you do just as well, or maybe not quite as well, across 100 and something days, as if you trail bigger. But you can see what happens is that a trade like this. If let's see, what would happen? So if I was trailing bigger here, I'd take one trade and I'd get taken out actually on this pullback here at about 10 or 11, 12 ticks. So I'd actually make less in this case. What we see, the other times we see is if there's more of a move here, and then you're like, you got pulled out on that little, you got taken on that little pullback. Nonetheless, so there's $200 there, 20 ticks, and then I think we take another one here. That must be a loss. Let's look at this though. All right, so we're looking in the right spot. The machine's not finding a pattern to match to that I'm taking. These are all long codes, but I'm showing those behaviors as not as predictable over time, so I don't have them listed in the in the set of actions to act on. And then again, we're looking up here as well. Again, exactly the right place, I think. Very clear to me that's where I want to be looking, right at the previous high day. And we're looking because there's this low volume node right there. And then again, as we come back through here. All right, back from a minor interruption there. But no, the price action here is weird. I can see why the machine well, that's not. I guess it's not true. As a human, when I look at that, I see what I see is what the rational trader view is. It sees that I see this here, and I would be triggering off of that. So there must not be a pattern in there that the machine is matching to. That's a nice fall. Let's see, and then. There has to be another trade in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so there we get long. Yeah, again, it seems like a late trade to me. As a human, you can see, okay, that looks really range bound. On the other hand, if you're going to break through, getting long, that's not a bad place to get long. And back from another interruption. Let's see here. So yeah, what we were talking about is, to me that looks like a really late trade, just like the first short. You can see what's happening is there's a pullback, and then you're breaking through this resistance right there. And actually, I'm not terribly. I don't think it's a bad trade, because there's a low volume node up there that you're going to head into, and you'd like to get into that before you do that. In any case, we take a loss there for 7 ticks, and then that's the end of the day. Nice short code right there that I'm not taking. And so 130 on the day for oil, 230 total. Where's the, this should match. Yeah, 230. All right, so plus 230 today. And then, oh, we didn't look at euro. Euro, it looks like it took one trade as a loss. It was the same yesterday. Let's take a look at that. Wow, this is unfortunate here. And we can look at this because, so what's unfortunate here is there's, that this is a really nice looking trade. You're pulling back after that fall, and you're just getting nicked. Though there's not much there actually. The nice move was earlier. We can't, we're not going to get in here. That's right at the point of control. And then there's not enough price action up here to do anything. It looks good to look there. And then as you're breaking through here as well. That's what we must have talked about in the room this morning. Interesting. So just, one trade yesterday for a small loss. Today, one trade for a small loss. The analysis shows that it's definitely worth trading across a larger time span. Though I am sort of redoing that. We talked this morning in the room about understanding not just the how the individual price action order flow patterns work for each market, but how the combinations of them interact. And so, for instance, if I have a code that I'm acting on that is I've gotten short, then I'm then not going to take longs that might show up that might be better. And so it's not just looking at each code individually and how it performs. That's the only criteria, right? You want to understand how they interact with each other. So you could have behaviors that always sort of repeat among each other. And so I actually wrote the code today to test that, all of the. So take the structured analysis that you've seen me do in the previous videos. Take the behaviors that have high efficiency ratios, so total ticks divided by total trades, and then take those that sat for long and short, and then do every combination of those codes. So for something like gold or the euro, those are fairly small sets. It's not that difficult to do. So I'm testing it on oil because oil the sets are pretty big. I actually redid the analysis and just grabbed everything. But what I could have done is just grabbed, these codes here, which there's, what is that? 11 of them. And 8 short codes, and then plugged those in and ran them. But what I did is I went for a larger set because I want to see, which combinations work out better than others. It's running now. I suspect it'll run all night because that's, if you think about it, there's a lot of combinations. Let me see here. It's on a different computer, so I can't show it here. But we are at it's plugging away here. It takes basically a few seconds per group. So you start with, how it works. You start with one long code, and then each individual combination of short codes, and then add the next long code, and anyway, so we'll see how long that takes to get a sense for what's reasonable. I might need a more powerful system. On the other hand, if it takes a really long time, it kind of doesn't matter if you only have to do it once a month. So assuming that I can get this to work correctly, where I'm getting some good information on not just what individual codes work well, but what combination of codes work well together, then the next step is, okay, well, how often do you need to refresh that, right? Because the market has it changes over time. It has a character, and so we'd have to work through that process. So it's similar to what you've seen before, where what we're doing now is we take the last 5 or 6 sets of 4-week time blocks and look at each of them individually, and then look for the behaviors that repeat themselves across those blocks of time. So I took that data and took all those codes and plugged them in, and now let's see what we get here. That'll be interesting. In any case, that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow.